talk about the Department of Education, America's most expensive babysitter for schools, teachers, and kids. Since its creation in 1979, this federal behemoth has spent over $100 billion a year. Yet guess what? Test scores haven't budged. That's right. We've thrown trillions at the problem, and the only thing that's improved is the size of the bureaucracy. Think about that for a second. Trillions spent, millions of kids served, and for what? Stagnant test scores, a skyrocketing pile of paperwork, and a government agency so huge it makes the DMV look like a mom-and-pop shop. Meanwhile, teachers spend more time filling out forms than teaching, and students are stuck with stagnant, sometimes even declining test scores. Enter President Trump, who's aiming a wrecking ball at this government monster. His plan? Shut the whole thing down and hand power back to the states, local communities, and yes, parents. Finally, a president who gets it. Education is not a Washington, D.C. problem. It's a family and community problem. Trump has called the department a nest of radicals pushing a woke agenda and has promised to give the power back to the people. He's already started cutting staff, laying off over a third of the department's workforce, and shifting programs to other agencies. But the real goal is to close the department entirely. That will require Congress, but the momentum is building. Why should we cheer? Because the Department of Education is unconstitutional. The Constitution never mentions education. It leaves that to the states. Yet this federal giant controls billions, micromanages classrooms, forces schools to jump through hoops, and demands mountains of paperwork. All this federal meddling is justified as helping kids, but in reality, it's mostly bureaucratic overreach, power grabs, and wasted dollars. Remember Reagan? He promised to dismantle the department in the 80s. He slashed budgets and block-granted funds to states, but Congress never gave him the full shutdown. The GOP platform in the 90s doubled down on abolition, yet here we are with the same bloated bureaucratic beast. Trump's plan is the next chapter, actually trying to make it happen. Yes, there are legal battles. Courts are wrestling with whether a president can dismantle an agency Congress created. The Supreme Court recently said trimming staff is the president's prerogative, but killing the agency outright? That's Congress's job. So Trump's administration is chipping away at the edges, making the department an empty shell while lawmakers debate. If the department closes, states get more control. That means local education tailored to local values, fewer federal mandates, and more parental choice. Want to ban woke nonsense? States can do it. Want more school choice or vouchers? States can do that too. It's freedom and accountability for once. Critics worry about chaos, gaps in civil rights enforcement, and funding disruptions. Sure, change is messy. But what's the alternative? Keeping a bloated, ineffective bureaucracy that spends more time regulating than educating? That's the real mess. Look at the numbers. Since the department's birth, federal spending per student has doubled, yet test scores remain flat or worse. Graduation rates barely move. Illiteracy rates still stubbornly high. We're throwing money down a black hole. And the bureaucracy? It's grown like a weed. Non-teaching staff have exploded by over 700% since 1950, while the share of actual teachers dropped. More administrators, more paperwork, less teaching. That's the department's legacy. Trump's gun rights supporters cheer his move to abolish unconstitutional taxes on suppressors and short-barreled rifles buried in other legislation. This department has long been a roadblock to liberty. Closing the Department of Education won't solve every problem overnight, but it's a necessary first step. It's time to stop wasting trillions, stop federal overreach, and restore education to where it belongs, in the hands of families and communities. The real win is putting parents back in charge. Parents who can't afford fancy schools or private tutors shouldn't be stuck with a federal system that's failed them for decades. School choice isn't a buzzword, it's a lifeline. Empower families to choose schools that align with their values and needs. That's real education reform. So here's the deal. Celebrate the win for local control, demand Congress do its job, and watch the Department of Education's bureaucratic empire crumble. The kids and taxpayers deserve